Welcome back. So we did multiplication now. So next natural step is to do division. But there is something important I need you to remember about division, okay? And that important thing about division is, remember, we recreate the problem. We turn it into a multiplication problem by flipping that second fraction, okay? Because mentally, we're not good at dividing fractions, so we change it into a multiplication problem. And remember, we do that by simply flipping that second fraction. So when we do that, then we can finish our cancellation process, okay, and get to the answer. But again, the key here is realizing that you need to flip the complete second fraction, all right? Now, in today's lesson, I have everything already factored for you just so you can get a feeling for what this flipping process is like. All right, so I'm going to put parentheses around these. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to practice the flipping process and stating the restrictions. So everything about the first parenthesis stays the same. But you flip the second one. All right, so in doing that flipping process, now the x minus 3's cancel, the x minus 5's cancel, and so we are actually left with x plus 2 on top and x minus 9 on the bottom. So, and again, just to keep it nice and easy for this first lesson of practice, everything's in factored form already. So, now the more interesting piece. So, now it's time to state the restrictions. Well, for the restrictions, you're going to know that x can't be 9, x can't be negative 5, x can't be 3. Now, there is one last thing we have to check, okay, because these restrictions are based on division. Anything that we've divided by, anything, we have to check, okay, and say that we can't end up dividing by 0. So I want you to think back to our original problem. In our original problem, notice this piece right here was being divided by. Well, that piece ended up right here. Now, you already know that x can't be negative 5. So in this case, it wouldn't impact it if you forgot it, but in a lot of problems it will. And so the thing I want you to see is that you have to keep track of anything you divided by at any point in the problem. And what that's going to do is it's going to mean that that complete second fraction is going to make restrictions, okay? Because by flipping it, you've now at some point divided by both pieces of that second fraction. So that's kind of the little trick today. Why I wanted to separate these videos, make one where you don't have to factor first, so you can see what's happening. So let's do the second one, and you'll see why it ends up being important. So for the second one, your first fraction is always left alone. And then you flip your second fraction. All right, so let's look at what cancels. X minus 7 cancels off. X minus 8 cancels off. So I have x plus 4 and x plus 5 left on top. And actually, I forgot to cancel something, didn't I? Those x plus 4s. So I just have x plus 5 left on top and x minus 2 left on the bottom. All right, so that is my simplified expression. And now we have to run through and state the restrictions. So based on this, x can't be 8. Based on that, x can't be negative 4. Based on this, x can't be 2. X can't be 7. But remember, because this is a division problem, that meant at the beginning we were dividing by both of those. And those ended up on top of the second fraction at the end. So you're going to end up checking every one of these pieces, okay? Don't forget you have to check both top and bottom of the second fraction, because in flipping it, it means you've now divided by all of it. Well, here you already have the fact that x can't be 8. You already have that listed, so you really don't have to list it again. But the one that you would miss if you didn't check the top is you would have missed the restriction that x also can't be negative 5. All right, so that's why you do have to remember, because if there's pieces that didn't cancel that were in that second fraction, well, now you've missed some of your restrictions, because it matters. From the very beginning of the problem, if you divide it at any point by that piece, it is creating a restriction for you. Okay? And then that is actually it for this lesson. All right, so basically, again, just practicing the flipping and canceling, and then stating every restriction. Being careful that you remember when you divide that you have to check everything in that second fraction. So I thank you for joining me, and make sure you have all this written down and ask any questions if you have any before coming getting your practice work.